A bill in Missouri has passed the House, and there's the possibility that the Democratic governor, Jay Nixon, might sign it. We don't yet know. We'll have to be watching for that in the next week, but it's called the Gun Nullification Bill. Now, why is that? It's because any nullification bill is basically, first of all, it's bad news and it's usually unconstitutional. But in this case, it means that they are going to make let me read the actual quote. The bill's nullification provision not only declares invalid all laws that infringe on the people's right to keep and bear arms as guaranteed by the Second Amendment, it also strikes down some existing federal gun laws. And so basically the idea is we're not going to allow the federal government to enforce gun control legislation on Missouri. When we get into some of the specific provisions here, you're going to see how extreme this bill actually is. So let's go over a couple of the other things that this bill does. It allows concealed weapons to be carried by designated school personnel in school buildings. So this is one of the NRA's wet dreams. It allows people with a firearms permit to openly carry weapons, even in areas where current bit laws in Missouri say they can't. It prevents people from publishing any identifying information on gun owners, so that's that gun registry that gun owners have been so terrified of. And it lowers the minimum age required to obtain a concealed weapons permit from 21 to 19. I don't know exactly what age it should be set at, but I love that, why not? We'll lower that too. So in a bunch of different areas, this not only says we're not going to have any new federal gun legislation applied to Missouri, but we're going to weaken any regulations that currently exist in Missouri. I understand that there is a debate to be had on where we should draw the line on gun control legislation. I would definitely expand upon what we have now. I would not outlaw all guns. I wouldn't create any sort of national gun register or expect to strip people of their guns and collect them for the military. I don't think that the military or the government should be hoarding ammunition, nor do I think that that's what it actually is doing right now, despite some of the lunatic fantasies going on among crazed gun owners. But I love that they think that this is what they need to be doing in Missouri right now. There are major problems in a lot of states around the country, not even just having to do with guns. I don't know how many shootings we've had in Missouri since Sandy Hook. I imagine there's been at least a few, since it seems to be coming up around the country every single day. But I love that this is the legislation they're working on. Kansas, by the way, passed a similar bill just recently, and we already believe, I think Eric Holder said something about that. Yeah, Eric Holder said that there might very well be a Department of Justice investigation into that. They might be taking it into court because these nullification laws, there's a history of about 100 years of generally conservatives trying to pass these when the federal government infringes on their perceived rights. So it's probably unconstitutional. It might go to court. By the way, let's talk about some of the other stuff that Missouri has done recently. It's not just gun nullification bills. They recently voted to entirely defund the state driver's license bureau, citing gun confiscation worries. And both houses passed a bill to thwart a non-binding United Nations resolution on sustainable resource development that they think is going to lead to people living in hobbit homes and things like that. That's that Agenda 21. It's this completely non-binding UN resolution that maybe we should think about how we expend our resources, and we should think about sustainability and the future of mankind, and not just gobbling up every natural resource over the course of the next 15 or 16 years, and then just, whatever happens to our kids and grandkids happens, I guess. There are definitely some other things that have gone on in Missouri, but I love how crazy some of these state senates can be, and state houses, by the way. The state government is supposed to be sort of the laboratory of democracy. I guess that's what it's historically been called. But sometimes that laboratory produces some weird science indeed. So I don't think that this is going to end up passing, or if it does pass, it's not going to stand because it's clearly unconstitutional. But this is where we're at in this country right now. There can't be any rational discussion over gun control laws. I would personally say that, for instance, if a 30-round magazine was banned, or if particular assault weapons were banned, you still have your right to bear arms, just not all arms. I think that is fair and rational, considering the situation with gun violence we have in this country. But I guess I'm not fit for the Missouri State Senate.